I would now like to introduce Minnesota State Senator Sandy Pappas and Minnesota Representative Ann New.
Far be it for me to be a politician who's not willing to take the microphone. So each year, I'm on the board of an organization called Minnesota Excellence in Public Service. We are a training program for women in politics. And each year, we take this group of women out to Washington, D.C., and we do a tour of the Capitol. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but in the rotunda of our nation's Capitol is a statue. And that statue depicts three busts of the mothers of the great suffragist movement: Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, and Lucretia Mott. But as part of that sculpture, there's a large section of sort of rough-hewn stone that appears to be unfinished. There's lots of theories on why that stone is there, but I like to think it's because the work of these amazing women is not done. 2018 was the year of the woman. We had record numbers of women both run and win elected offices across the country, but let's look at what that means. In Congress, we now have 127 seats held by women, but that's just 23.7% of those seats. Across the country in statewide offices, 29.3% of those elected offices are held by women. In state legislative bodies across the country, 28.9% of those seats are held by women currently. Here in Minnesota, we're doing quite well at a whopping 31.8%. I'm not sure if that deserves applause or not. Here in the Year of the Woman, there is clearly still work to be done. Now, I was actually asked to speak a little bit about what it's like, my experience as a relatively newly elected woman in the Minnesota House of Representatives. But what I really want to focus on is why I chose to run. As part of my work in Minnesota Excellence in Public Service, I give a speech every year to the new class about why this work is so important, why we need to train, encourage, empower women to seek elected office and work in public service. And so as part of that, I knew that on average, women need to be asked 7 times before they will choose to run for office. That is not true of our male counterparts. So when I had an opportunity to run for office, I knew that I could not be one of those women. I could not wait to be asked. I could not wait my turn. I assure you that Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, and Lucretia Mott were not women who waited their turn. I hope that all of us here today, both the women and girls who are here, and also the men who support us, I hope that we are inspired by what we're doing here today, but I hope that we're not just inspired. I hope that we are inspired to go and do, because the work is not done. To the stage, who is one of our planning partners with Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Amber, come on up.
A little bit shorter than that. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to join you today. As was said, my name is Amber Jones, and I'm here representing my organization, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm the Chief of Staff for our Minnesota State organization. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority was founded on January 16th, 1920 on the campus of Howard University by 5 collegiate African-American young women, which means that in less than 5 months, our organization will celebrate 100 years of service to our communities and our world. We're in national. Of the 19th Amendment. We are so grateful to be here. Our organization is part of the 2020 Women's Vote Centennial Initiative. And so when we were asked to be a part of these efforts at the state level, we could not say no. Zeta Phi Beta sorority, we recognize the importance of being part of this historic moment in commemorating the legacy of securing voting rights for women, but also how that starts a movement for all. And I really want to honor our ancestors and our elders. I want us to go back to the words that Dr. Josie Johnson said. I can't be on the stage without honoring you as a woman who has done so much work for our community, for Black communities and for the Minnesota community. I cannot be on the stage and not do that. That's to honor my elders who stays in this house. But I want to also speak to all of our elders and our ancestors, to the women who sacrificed so much and put themselves in harm's way for the liberties that we enjoy right now. It is our duty to take up their mantles right now. We still have a fight ahead of us right now. As we know, it's an ongoing struggle to secure, protect, and expand access to our civil liberties, such as the right to vote. If we truly want to see the words all people, from all women, and all men to all men and women, but really all people are created equal. So thank you for joining us today. I'm also, I wear many hats, but I also work with the Minnesota Historical Society, who's also a partner for today. And I just want to shout out our upcoming exhibit called She Voted, Her Fight, Our Right. That's going to be opening in fall 2020 right across at the History Center. Please join us as this commemoration will still continue. All of the representatives of our partners and our sponsors, who I will read in alphabetical order, please come up to the foot of the stage. Please hold all of your applause until all of our partners and sponsors are assembled. So I'm going to read them. Y'all can move up to the stage, or I'm going to keep reading. I'm not going to wait, okay? So the American Association for University Women, Daughters of the American Revolution, Explore Minnesota. Please come to the foot of the stage if you're a representative of an organization being called. First in the Nation Suffrage Celebration. Jewish Historical Society of the Upper Midwest. League of Women Voters of Edina. League of Women Voters of Minnesota. The Minnesota Historical Society. National Council of Jewish Women. Office of the Minnesota Secretary of State, Turning Point Suffragist Memorial, the 2020 Women's Vote Centennial, Twin Cities Headshots, Visit St. Paul Official Convention and Visitors Bureau, and finally Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. So please join me in thanking these wonderful partners and sponsors who put in so much work to make sure this day was successful. Thank you for your efforts.
To conclude today, I want to introduce, I know that Sandy Pappas has joined us, and to come on stage if you want to slip in a few remarks, and then Minnesota State Auditor Julie Blaha and Minnesota Secretary of State Simon will take us home. Thank you.
Back in the 1970s, I was one of the co-founders of a feminist theater called Circle of the Witch, a collective feminist theater. Big secret, I haven't told many people about this. And in the middle of the 1970s, we wrote a play, a women's history play, about what life was like for women at the turn of the century. It was called Time is Passing. And it had a scene in it between an anti-suffrage man and a suffrage woman. And so I'm going to read that scene for you. So it starts with the anti-suffrage man. A lady in politics has to look like a woman, dress like a lady, eat like a bird, so she'll have the figure of a girl, think like the man, have the constitution of a horse, work like a dog, and have the hide of a rhinoceros. Thank heaven this new women is in the vast minority. I know for a fact that the majority of women in this country, including my wife, do not want to vote. They do not want suffrage. So the suffrage woman then responds, if that's true, why is the Women's Suffrage Association in Minnesota so large? Why, we have chapters in Farmington, Winnebago, Excelsior, Mantorville, Monticello, Redwood Falls, Austin, Dodge Center, Red Wing. That's just it, says the man. The loose woman will be able to vote. The freeloader will be able to vote. The woman that isn't even white will vote. The foreign woman will vote. The radicals will vote for heaven knows what. Franchise is a burden. And the suffrage woman responds, well, I think that any law that will allow a good-for-nothing, lazy, indolent, God-forsaken, brittle-browed, peanut-brained, hard-jawed, whiskey-soaked, ward-healing politician to vote no to a good, noble, virtuous, and godly woman is unjust and unreasonable. At a special session of the legislature on August 26th, 1919, the women of Minnesota were granted full citizenship. Thank you.
But I'm telling you, I want to focus on things that are boring today.
No.
Again, a surprise from a math teacher and a parliamentarian and an auditor that I might be able to keep things a little down to earth. But the fact that I am standing before you today as a statewide elected official, the statewide elected official that is overseeing over $20 billion in local government spending is not that interesting. I am the fourth woman in a row to serve in this position. We are coming up on a quarter century of women handling our local money in Minnesota. And that's wonderful. I have to say, I do have a special love for the less interesting anyway in the work I do, but I'll tell you, this is wonderful. So if you have a moment today as you're walking around that is maybe not as exciting as another, enjoy that luxury, because it is a luxury. I cannot wait until, first thing, how exciting it is that, Joe Grow, you have made me less interesting. Women like you are why women like me, it's not that interesting that I'm a woman up here today. And let's hear it again for every woman who has gone before those of us in office. One more time. I get to talk about Fire Relief Association pensions. I get to talk about tax increment finance. I get to actually do my job and actually do the job that you supported me to do. And I can't wait until it's going to be quite boring for us to talk about Attorney General Keith Ellison being the first African American elected statewide. I can't wait till we say, oh yeah, he was the first. Wow, that just seems crazy now. I can't wait until we have restored the vote adequately. We've expanded the vote adequately. And we are protecting the vote adequately. So now, none of this is that interesting. We'll still get together. It'll be fun. But we'll have the luxury of it not being as exciting as some of the tough times are. So again, if you have a moment today that feels a little slow, celebrate that luxury. Let's make it more boring for even more people to vote in Minnesota. Thank you.
Only appropriate, our Secretary of State should take us out.
Thank you very much. We are almost at the end of our ceremony. A fitting way to end, it seems to me, is to look back one more time at the coverage of Minnesota's ratification in the Minneapolis Morning Tribune on the morning of September 9th, 1919. This passage stands out, detailing the reaction by the suffrage leaders who had worked so hard for so long. Quote, "They celebrated first of all by singing the battle hymn of the Republic in the Senate chamber and corridor of the state capitol as their paean of joy for the tidings that marked the end of 40 years of drudgery for the cause of suffrage," end quote. What an amazing phrase there, a paean of joy. That's exactly what happened 100 years ago today in these very corridors. That song played. And that is exactly how we will end today, with our University of Minnesota Marching Band, conducted by Betsy McCann. Please now turn your attention to the back of the rotunda, to our exit doors, as the marching band leads us in the battle hymn of the Republic, the same music that